Coming up on Mornings on the Hill, Syracuse students are gathering this week to remember the lives lost decades ago in the Pan Am Flight 103 tragedy, how they're celebrating this year.
And from national politics to homelessness in Syracuse to chickens for everyone, we'll break down some important moments from Monday night's mayoral debate.
And it's flu season on campus again. We'll have a look inside the school's efforts to get people vaccinated. All that and more on this edition of Mornings on the Hill. Good morning, I'm Madison Diaz. Thanks for joining us for Mornings on the Hill.
And I'm Eric McCormick. Here's a look at today's top story. Every year, Syracuse students come together to remember those who never made it home.
Students are finding new ways to honor their legacy while inspiring change on campus. Hannah Beam has the story.
37 years after the bombing of Pan Am Flight 103, Syracuse University continues to honor the 35 students who never made it home.
And Acting Forward is a way for us to embody remembrance by looking back and learning about the history of Pan Am Flight 103, but then also acting forward and doing this through research, collaboration, and by engaging our community, both with the students and the broader Syracuse people.
The 35 empty seats on Shaw Quadrangle serve as a reminder of the students who were lost and how their stories still connect people across generations.
Because when you see 35 empty seats and it has every individual person named on there, it has their seat number, and they're in specific locations, you really get to visualize what that was, and maybe it turns into something that you're able to connect with further.
We still have to grieve the lives that we lost, but we also have to remember the beauties that they brought to our campus and to the community, and it's important to keep that remembrance even though it has been a bit of time since the actual attack.
Never stop learning, and never stop advocating, and never stop putting yourself in situations where you can educate yourself on topics that are hard. And being able to engage with new people and building a community with other people is so important. And remember to look back and act forward.
This week ends with the annual Rose Laying ceremony at the Remembrance, where students pause to reflect and promise to keep acting forward. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Hannah Beam.
Thank you so much, Hannah. Remembrance events will continue through the week. Happening today is Sitting in Solidarity, which takes place on the Quad at 2 p.m.
Tomorrow there will be an Act Forward Symposium and a Lockerbie Scholars presentation. The final day is Friday with a Remembrance Scholar Convocation and a Rose Laying ceremony where Remembrance Scholars will lay flowers and stones at the memorial wall located in front of the Hall of Languages. This year marks the 37th anniversary of the tragedy.
Monday night was the Citrus TV Town Hall mayoral debate. Syracuse residents and students had the opportunity to ask for candidates questions. Topics ranged from engaging students in local politics to agriculture and food insecurity to gun violence to national politics and much more. They also talked about one of the biggest issues that residents believe is plaguing the city: homelessness.
Can't be defecating on the sidewalk. They can't be zoned out like zombies in downtown Syracuse. We got to unhandcuff our police officers and let them handle that.
We have to do some other things to engage them, but you have to have compassion. And at the end of the day, under my administration, we will have compassion because everything cannot be criminalized.
I do think we need legislation, whether it be locally, at the state level, where we're able to get people who have real problems off the street and into some other kind of supportive thing.
Work with the county and work with the state to expand the services. And the agencies cannot kick out people who have no skills to do anything else.
Tensions seem to run high. Like you just heard, Republican Thomas Babylon pushed back against many ideas from Democrat Sharon Owens and Independent Alfonso Davis. Independent Timothy Rudd was also constantly attacking Owens and the current Walsh administration. Plus, while talking about agriculture, Rudd said, quote, "chickens for everyone." The full debate can be found on Citrus TV, on the Citrus TV YouTube channel, and early voting starts this Saturday. To find a polling location near you, head to www.onondaga.gov.
The Newhouse School is looking into an incident involving a hateful language written on a whiteboard. Dean Mark Lodato wrote in an email earlier this week the message, which included a racial slur and homophobic language, was found and reported by a student Monday. Lodato thanked the student and expressed his continued support for the Office of Community, Culture, and Engagement. Anyone with information on the incident is encouraged to contact the Department of Public Safety.
Now, personally, I've been a bit cold walking to class every morning. It seems to be getting colder and colder. Our weather reporter, Brandon Myers, is outside right now with the latest.
Well, Madison, you're right. It is certainly getting colder, but don't worry, I still got my umbrella because we were actually just getting out of some rain that ended just a few moments ago, and you can certainly tell some puddles still lingering on the street and on the sidewalk, so be sure to watch your step. Now, that rain is going to be leaving for now, but those clouds are sticking around. It's looking to be around 50 degrees or so. Later tonight, though, it's going to be getting even colder, around the mid to high 40s. Now, I know you're thinking, is my weekend going to be safe with that rain maybe coming back? I'll be sure to answer all that and more later on in the show in your full 5-day forecast. Guys?
The State of the Art Conference began on Monday. It highlights the students with disability as they look towards college. Parents, students, staff, and program organizers gathered at the Marriott Hotel in downtown Syracuse.
And joining us now is our very own Alex Scrondon. Alex, you were at the conference. What did you learn and what were some takeaways?
Yeah, Eric and Madison, thank you guys for having me. Now, the past 2 days I was at the conference, and one of the biggest takeaways was just how much this field has grown over the past 10 years. 10 to 15 years ago, families would have to be searching all across the internet to find programs for their children. Now today, there's over 400 programs across 49 different states.
I would say the field has doubled, at least in the past 10 years, thanks to Think College, thanks to conferences like this, thanks to advocacy that's gotten us some funding.
Alex, so what were some of the events that this conference put on?
Yeah, well, there was a college fair on Monday night at the Shine Student Center at the Goldstein Auditorium, where students, just like any other future college student would, got the opportunity to see some programs they can apply to.
Awesome.
And Alex, Inclusive U was behind this. What did you learn about them through this experience?
Yeah, no, I talked to some of the members, and one of the main things that they said multiple times was what inclusivity truly is. It's not taking students and putting them into different areas on campus, but it's actually immersing them within the community while still giving them the help and assistance they need. So they go to the same classes as we do, they're at the same football games and basketball games. But yeah, it was a really great conference, and I got to learn a lot.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for joining us, Alex. Now, coming up on Mornings on the Hill,
the Louvre just opened back again after a recent jewelry heist. Stay with us.
Welcome to Live from Studio B.
Welcome to another episode of Culturally and Technically Legal.
Previously on Survivor.
Welcome back to the Esports Juice Box, where we break down this week's esports news into digestible sizes for easy consumption.
Welcome back to Mornings on the Hill. We are in the midst of cold and flu season, and cases are on the rise. Mornings on the Hill reporter Victoria Daly has more on what's being done to stop the flu in its tracks.
Since the COVID-19 pandemic, this event was the first time the Onondaga County Health Department offered free vaccines to the public. Traditionally, these clinics have only been for first responders. The event took place from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. at NBT Bank Stadium and allowed residents to get vaccinated without stepping out of their cars. The sign-up process for this event was simple enough. Be 18 years of age or older, register on the link provided on the Department of Health website, select a visit time, answer screening questions and put in your information, and then you were good to go. A total of 240 doses were available at the clinic, with first responders receiving their vaccines first. Health officials have been putting emphasis on reminding the public to know how important it is to get vaccinated now in early October. According to data from New York Gov, flu cases have only raised this year compared to previous years, sending more and more individuals to the hospital. But if we just zone in on Onondaga County residents, about 8% of its population have already vaccinated against the flu. That's about 37,000 individuals. If you want to add to this statistic but couldn't make it to this event, there are numerous other locations around the county offering flu vaccines. CVS and Wegman pharmacies and Kinney Drugs all offer vaccines either walk-in or appointment-based, and most insurance plans will cover these flu shots at no cost.
And if you're a Syracuse University student who wants to get vaccinated, you don't got to travel far. The Barton Center at the Arch offers vaccines for free for students.
Thank you so much, Victoria. The Louvre Museum in Paris is right now at the center of an international investigation after jewelry heist just this week.
Our own Gabriella Peniston joins us in studio with how it all went down.
Thank you, guys. Well, early Sunday morning, 4 masked thieves broke into the Louvre Museum in France and stole over $100 million worth of jewelry. Now, just recently in April, as you can see behind me, I went to this museum and I can say that there is a lot of intense security measures in the area. Everyone in must go through various metal detectors. So, like many others all over social media, I'm asking myself the same question as everyone. How did they do it? Now, authorities say that the group disguised themselves as workers and used a ladder and power tools to break in. They climbed up from the riverside of the building using a truck-mounted lift to reach a second-floor window that looks into the Galerie d'Apollon, the jewelry collection section. From that window, they cut through the glass, smashed display cases with power tools, and grabbed the crown jewels. The entire heist took less than 10 minutes. Once they were done, they sped off on motorbikes before police could get a hold of them. Witnesses say that they had no idea this was happening.
And they start running and saying, get out, get out, get out, get out, evacuate, evacuate. And nobody knew what happened. Like we heard the sounds, and we didn't have no clue that it was a robbery.
Now, investigators have launched a massive manhunt and are still reviewing the surveillance footage. The museum just opened back today again this morning after being closed since Sunday. The world is still left wondering how one of the most secure museums on the planet fell victim to such a bold heist in broad daylight. That's all I have. Eric and Madison, back to you.
Thanks, Gabby. Time to check your weather for today, and we've brought our weather reporter Brandon Myers out of the cold and into the studio to give you your full weather forecast.
Hey guys, well, it's good to be back inside. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the rain that we saw this morning, well, it could be making a return later tonight, but let's take a look at what we're going to be seeing tomorrow. As you can see, it's looking kind of grim all throughout tomorrow. We're going to be seeing some of that rain. Like I mentioned, we're going to be seeing that continuous pattern of high 40s into that low 50s. Certainly, we're getting back into that fall weather, and let's be honest, it might be time to bring out the jacket, bring out the umbrella, and just bring out all that nice heat-based clothing. Certainly good to have right about now. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Brandon, how's my weekend gonna look? Well, let's take a look at our 5-day forecast here. We can see throughout Thursday into Friday, that rain, it's continuing. On Friday, we're gonna be hitting into those low 50s, and into the weekend, even though the temperature is staying the same, well, the sun might be making a little bit of a return with some low precipitation chances down to to even 12% precipitation rate on Monday, with the sun coming fully back out. So I know you're thinking, your weekend might have been ruined, but the sun is coming back for this weekend, and it's certainly time to take advantage of it, because as we get into the winter season, that snow, well, it's coming, and it's coming fast. So now's the time to take advantage of all this sun. Guys, that's all I have for now. I'll send it back over to you.
Thanks so much, Brandon. Coming up on Mornings on the Hill, our sports anchor, Sydney Coulier, brings in the new season with a fan favorite.
Am I the only one who values Heat as a cinematic masterpiece? This is truthfully one of the best movies I've seen in a long time.
Easily top 10 animated movies of all time.
Hey, I'm Truman.
I'm Ro, and this week we're reviewing Lisa Frankenstein.
So, movie lovers, I'm Dylan.
And I'm Jake. And today we're going to be reviewing Madam Web.
Hey everybody, I'm Gabe.
And I'm Dylan.
And it is the 2024 Review Crew Academy Awards Extravaganza. Woo!
Sports fans and sports fans only. I'm Sydney Coulier, the face you normally see talking sports here on Mornings on the Hill. Alas, the NBA season is back. Don't get me wrong, I love football, but you eventually get tired of seeing men ramming their heads together. The season tipped off last night in OKC when the reigning champions, the Thunder, barely beat my team, the Rockets, in a double overtime 1-point victory. And it seems like KD might actually stay in Houston, but you know, it's still early to see. But don't worry though, if you missed the game last night and you still want to be included with the crew, be close to your TV remote tonight around 7, as the following teams make their seasonal debut. The Cavs take on the Knicks in the home of the bacon, egg, and cheese at 7. Boston fans, be tuned in when the 76ers travel to play the Celtics. I'm curious to see how the season will play out without Tatum. The Heat will be playing in their home state rival, the Magic, at 7. And an unusually healthy Zion and his Pelicans will take on the Grizzlies. And last but not least, the Raptors will face off against the Hawks. There is one more game, though, but nobody really cares about those teams, so I'm really not going to get into them. Now, there's a high chance some teams are going to be basically conditioning and be tested with their offseason conditioning. But if you're the type of fan that bets their whole paychecks on parlays, it's okay, because we have a very long season ahead of us. And your financial decisions will be put into question yet again. As one season starts, another progresses as they get forward for the off season. Our Ryan Story is in studio talking about how the Orange had a reality check when it came to field hockey. Ryan.
Thanks, Sydney. Last Friday, number 9 Syracuse Field Hockey hosts number 2 North Carolina, and this game was as much of a roller coaster as it gets. There is a powerful strike from Charlie Bruder to put the Orange in an early hole. The Cuse didn't stay down for long. The roller coaster started to go up with a missile delivered by Bo Van Kempen. And then towards the start of the second quarter, SU's Hattie Madden receives a beautiful pass and gives the Orange their first lead of the day. It wouldn't take long before Lika Lehangers found the back of the cage herself to extend the lead to 3-1. This was a big moment. This was UNC's first time this season trailing by 2 goals, and it would go on to be its first halftime deficit. As you hit the peak of the roller coaster, certainly it couldn't all come crashing down, right? Well, just like my Giants on Sunday, it did. Bruder rejuvenated UNC by getting inside and scoring her second goal of the day. SU held the lead into the fourth quarter, but a bouncer by Danny Mendez snuck into the cage to tie it up. At this point, the Orange were on their heels and the Tar Heels were on their toes. UNC gets a fast break opportunity in the final 30 seconds. One block, not enough. Bruder gets the third goal of the day to send SU disappointed home in a 4-3 loss. That's 2 straight losses for Syracuse, but there's no reason to panic just yet. The Cuse take on a Boston College squad on Friday that's winless in ACC play, a potential get-right game for the Orange. Back to you, Sydney.
Well, NBA fans aren't the only ones rejoicing. Orange basketball is back. And trust me, I know, the Orange should have never left from the Big East. You can blame football for that. But best believe this men's team can potentially actually make a tournament run this year. This year, J.J. Starling is back to lead the offense, along with Georgia Tech transfer Nathan Joy. He averaged 12 points and 6 assists as a sophomore. They will be joined by a healthy Donnie Freeman and an athletic rim protector in William Kyle. The Orange will travel to West New York for their exhibition game against Buffalo this Saturday. Keeping it here in the 315, Orange fans are in a toxic relationship with their quarterback, Ricky Collins. And our Troy Jun details just why.
Now, the Syracuse quarterback, a redshirt sophomore in his first 3 starts, has really struggled to get going. 3 touchdowns to just 7 interceptions. He's been playing like one of the worst quarterbacks in all of Power 5 football. And with this Syracuse team struggling to really get going offensively, Collins hasn't really done anything to help out with it. After 4 weeks of high-level quarterback play from Steve Angeli, and when for the first time ever at Clemson, Collins has looked like one of the worst quarterbacks in Power 5 football. If you take a look at the stats, versus Duke, 229 yards, an interception for Sesame, a touchdown, and 3 interceptions this past weekend. 2 touchdowns, but also 3 interceptions, which is 126 passing yards on 31 attempts. That totals out to just 634 passing yards, 3 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. It was so bad in the first half that Luke Carty, the true freshman, started the second half for Syracuse. While he never crossed midfield and only played a few drives, it sends a message to Collins for the foreseeable future. Fran Mount said this week that he's always going to be behind Ricky, but last Saturday's game made it clear that Fran's not afraid to make a change if he needs to, whether it's for a few drives or even a full quarter. Maybe the stretch of Carter getting a chance ignites something in Collins this week. But the road doesn't get easier as SC takes on their toughest opponent so far in number 7 Georgia Tech on the road. The Yellow Jackets have one of the worst ACC ever. Sydney, back to you.
Well, in simpler terms, Troy basically just said, leave it to God, and I completely understand. Well, that is it on the best segment of Mornings on the Hill, and stay tuned as we have the latest of passing of an American bassist coming up next.
And welcome back to Mornings on the Hill.
Our Holden Sherman joins us live in studio with the latest on all entertainment news.
Hello everyone, I'm Holden Sherman. Here's your latest in entertainment. We have more on the passing of Sam Rivers, the bassist for the metal group Limp Bizkit. His cause of death is still unclear, but according to TMZ, Florida Rescue responded to a call for a, quote, non-responsive person in cardiac arrest, end quote. Rivers was 48 and left the band in 2015 for 3 years after getting liver disease from excessive drinking. In 2018, he received a liver transplant and returned to the band. The band announced his passing over the weekend and said, quote, he wasn't just our bass player. He was pure magic, end quote. Disney Plus and Hulu cancellations soared in September after late-night host Jimmy Kimmel was shortly suspended. According to the analytics hub Antenna, the percentage of people who canceled their subscriptions doubled from 4% to an 8% jump, which is equal to about 3 million people canceling on Disney Plus, while on Hulu, cancellations jumped to 10%, more than 4 million people. Kimmel was suspended from ABC airwaves after comments he made about the shooting of Charlie Kirk back in September. ABC is owned by Disney. Now, Wicked fans were given a treat last night. Were given a treat during last night's Dancing with the Stars that featured a Wicked-themed night. The judges took the table as the people started with the movie superstars Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. Dancers performed renditions of the songs from the cinema, and Grande and Erivo performed a dramatic contemporary version of The Wizard and I, what they received some praise and critique from the judges. No one was eliminated. That's all for entertainment, but I'm sure Eric and Madison will keep me amused.
That is going to do it for us on this Wednesday's Mornings on the Hill. I'm Madison Diaz.
And I'm Eric McCormick. Thanks for watching Orange Nation. We'll see you next Wednesday live at 10 a.m. right here on Mornings on the Hill.
Welcome to Live from Studio B.
Welcome to another episode of Culturally and Technically Legal.
Previously on Survivor.
Welcome back to the Esports Juice Box, where we break down this week's esports news into digestible sizes for easy consumption.